It also seems like it's such a subtle, it just creeps in. You think about parenting or what we eat or how we school our children. So many, I think, believers, people who are walking with the Lord, they don't realize that they're finding their identity, their righteousness in those things. How do you expose that? I mean, imagine somebody listening right now and they're thinking, "Oh boy, I do that with my children." Yeah, how do you help us to get beneath that? And then what hope do we have when we get there?
Well, I think that talking about it or exposing it just in terms of diagnosing it and explaining how this stuff works, and hey, maybe the reason you're so tired and exhausted and in fact lonely has to do with the fact
It's a
that
symptom.
it's a symptom of, and everyone, we read every study after study about skyrocketing rates of anxiety and people feeling lonely and social media and all these things. And you kind of say that. I think that as Christians can they can be humorous about it. We can. I think humor can be a real help in this regard. Not in a sense that we don't take people's pain seriously, but we can hold these things a little more lightly. But ultimately, what we have is not a new way to justify yourself. What we have is the God who justifies the ungodly. That's that's the good news that we have to give people and to point them to. And it's not the book will have failed if it becomes another thing for people to feel guilty about not doing well enough.
Right. Yeah, where's your to-do list in the back?
They made me put in that what to do about it, and you can see it immediately. The do part goes into quotes because the doing, the pathological need to assert my lovability in everything I do, that's part of what's making life in the 21st century so arduous.
We'll go to the other topics, but first of all, your treatment of parenting, I think, is going to really strike home with a lot of people. It certainly did with me as a parent. Talk about how we are craving self-justification in parenting.
Well, I think that there was a wonderful little pie chart that someone said, the reasons why I put my kid in a winter coat every morning. And it said 5% so that they stay warm. Another 5% so they don't get sick, and then 90% so that other parents don't judge me.
Well, they were honest. That's good.
They were honest, but this is what's going on. The seculosity of parenting, the religion of parenting, really happens between parents. Rather, when we use our children become our own tool for our own to prop up our justification, to say I'm enough because my child is enough. And this can be very, if you've ever been a child, which all of us have been, no one really wants to be a pawn, or be responsible for their parents' justification.
Yes, what a big load to put on them.
It's a huge load, and as we know it, that often backfires. People just move to Portland or Escondido.
People move from Escondido, not to Escondido.
Sorry, they moved from Escondido. Excuse me. Anytime we're feeling outsized anxiety, and that's a modern term for stress, really. I mean, it's an old term that's become the modern term, and something's keeping us up at night. That should be an alarm bell. I think that maybe something else here is at stake other than my child's performance on this test. Maybe it's actually my own value, my own justification, my own sense of identity is at stake. And I think that can be a way of getting our attention. In terms of what to do about it, again, guys, I would say you go to your knees and you pray that God could meet you there, and you confess, I've done it again.
Yeah.
Lord, have mercy. And I believe that, God is merciful.